Hello, namaste, everybody. Thank you for joining me today in a very relaxing yoga practice. My name is Sandra Scarbrough, and I work for NIH, but I'm also a yoga teacher and yoga therapist. I have a master's in science in yoga therapy, and today I'm going to lead you through a practice. This practice is for virtual workers. So welcome to my home. We're all probably in our homes, and hopefully everybody is comfortable. Now, before we begin our practice today, I would like to ask and invite you to see if you have a yoga strap, to get your yoga strap, or a belt, or some type of long cloth of some sort, because we're going to use this today. We're also going to be using blocks, so if you have a block, please get it. If not, you can use a couple of things. You can grab a pillow. You can get yourself, a book, because we're going to actually use this block to help with some of our poses for strengthening. Okay, so I'm going to allow you guys to do that, and I will just kind of talk to you a little bit about what the practice is about today. So I was asked to do a yoga practice for the virtual worker, and I think that's a good thing. If you guys are like me, I am in constant meetings all day long, from early in the morning all the way to the afternoon, sitting down. And that tends to make a lot of parts of my body really tight and stiff. We also have a habit of, doing this with our phones, right? Or we have a habit of looking at your screen like this, or doing this. So there's a lot of stuff going on during the day that, when we're working, it's kind of like we're on autopilot. We're really not in tune with our bodies because we're here working. Today, I invite you to be here right now in the present moment with me, and we're going to be doing this practice and working the practice and really focusing on our breath, our bodies, and just having a lovely time. This practice is a gentle yoga practice. It is not something in which you'll be expected to do headstand or any of these crazy yoga poses I'm sure you've seen. It's all about just enjoying some time for yourself right now, right here. And the things that we're going to be doing are going to help with counteracting a lot of the stuff that we do in front of the computers like this. We're going to counteract that with some great yoga poses, some breathing techniques, and a lot of relaxation. Really, I'm looking to stabilize our bodies. We're looking at realigning our bodies. And again, just to enjoy the practice today. In the world that we're living in today, with all the things happening around us and working as we are right now, a lot of us are having a lot of stress. And so our sympathetic nervous system is on high. Today, this practice is going to activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which is that part of your nervous system that is the relaxing, and it's going to calm us down, and hopefully at the very end of this session you will feel good. And because this is taped, you can always come back and do the session again. I will also be giving you some tips on what to do with certain things that you have in your own homes that can help with realigning the body, adding space where there's tightness, and lengthening and strengthening parts of the body. Okay? So today's practice, we're going to start off with the upper body, with the neck. Okay? So I'm going to take off my jacket so you can see. So let's begin. So taking a deep inhale here, we're just going to sit in a seated posture position, whatever is comfortable for you. Throughout this practice, I ask that you listen to your body. If you are doing something with me and you feel pain or discomfort, stop doing it and back off, okay? I will be sharing with you tips on how to do certain poses in different ways because not everybody's body is the same. Everybody has a different body. One pose that I do might look different from the pose that you're doing. And really, yoga is not about what you look like. It's about how you feel. I want you to really notice, and I will be cueing you to notice parts of your body as we go through these. So let's begin. So if you have a block, you can sit on your block, and I usually try to do that because sitting down, a lot of times we rely on our back to compensate for things. And so I might be relying on my back to just kind of like slouch here. I'll use the block to lift my sitting bones up. So I'm sitting on the block, just on my sitting bones here. So as you can see, the block is here. I'm going to cross my legs, and it's lifting up my pelvis. And doing so, it's so much more comfortable. I feel a lot more relaxed, and my chest is a little bit more open. So I'm not doing this. So we really want to start off with a nice, straight, aligned spine. And so I ask you to imagine a balloon string with a balloon stuck to the top of your head. And that balloon is floating up. And in that floating up, it actually helps me to rise up a little bit more and straighten my spine and my head here. So we'll start there. Now let's begin with a little bit of movement. So I'm going to have you take an inhale and raise your arms up to the sky with that inhale. And exhale, bring it back down. So just some movement here. Inhale up. And exhale down. Good. One more time. Inhale all the way up. Reaching up and exhale down. Good. So let's begin with movement in the neck. Now, I want to let you know that I know a lot of people roll their neck around. That's not a good movement for the neck because your neck isn't like a ball and socket. I know a lot of people think so, it's not. So I'm going to show you some neck stretches that are safe for you. Okay, so we're just going to start with some basics. We're going to take an inhale and we're going to look up to the sky here, very gently. And then as we exhale, we just bend our head forward, feeling a little stretch in the back of the neck here. Let's hold this pose and breathe in and breathe out. So really allowing the neck to relax. So let's take an inhale and come back up, looking up. And exhale, looking down. One more time, inhale, looking up. And exhale, looking down. So let's take an inhale and come back to neutral. I will be cueing you to breathe throughout this entire session. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna take an inhale here, and I'm gonna just bring my left ear to my left shoulder here. And I'm gonna also take my left hand, I'm gonna bring it over to my head to get a nice stretch here. At the same time, I'm gonna pull my right shoulder down to get an extra stretch here. Very gentle. Breathing into the side of your neck here. Feeling the stretch, noticing how that feels. Now you're gonna take an inhale and come back to neutral. In this neutral position, I ask you to notice how one side feels compared to the other. So again, yoga is all about being in the body. All right, let's do the other side. So take an inhale here. And as you exhale, bring your right ear to your right shoulder. I'm going to take my right hand and bring it here to the top of my head. Stretch it a little. And I'm going to bring my left shoulder here. I'm going to bring it down. I'm going to use that motion to give a nice stretch here. Good. Come back into neutral here. And notice how the neck is feeling. Good. So let's take an inhale here, and I'm going to look to my right, and I'm going to come back to the midline, and I'm going to look to the other side. I'm going to come back to the midline. So again, it's just some movement. Again, we're counteracting some of the things that we do on a daily basis by giving ourselves some more movement here. Good. So the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to stretch out the neck as well a little bit more, and the upper back. So I'm going to have you clasp your hands together here and just push out here. I want you to really push those hands out. And then just looking down as you push the hands out, you feel a stretch here in the back of the shoulders, a little bit in the neck, and hold that. 3, 2, 1, come back to neutral, feeling that, good. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to stretch out our sides. Now the side of your body tends to get shorter and shorter when you sit down all the time. Your muscles tend to get very stiff. So a lot of times people have lower back problems because they have a muscle called the QL muscle. And that muscle connects in here. I'm going to show you with this model. It connects from your hip to the side here. And what happens is it gets tight and starts to pull on it. And when that happens, it tends to pull on your lower back. So we want to, again, counteract that. So we're going to take an inhale here, raising our right arm up to the sky. I want my fingertips all the way up. You're extending, reaching up to the sky. You're going to inhale here. And as you exhale, you're going to bring yourself to the opposite side and really reach out past here. Really allowing that stretch to happen in the side ribs, in your side, in that QL. So inhale and exhale here, really getting a nice side stretch. Reaching past as far as you can go. Let's take an inhale, come back to center, exhale, release. And I want you to notice how that side of the body feels compared to the other. Now let's do the other side. Let's raise our left arm up to the sky, fingertips all the way up, and exhale, bring it to the side. Oh my gosh, I'm really opening up the side here. You may even feel some opening up here in the hip area as well. So let's inhale and exhale. Let's inhale, come back to center, exhale, release, good. Notice how that feels right now. So we're going to do a few more of these in different poses, not just sitting down. We're going to do them laying down and standing up. Okay, all right. So now we're going to go ahead and get down on the mat. I'm going to have you get onto all fours. So in a neutral position here, you want to have your wrists directly under your shoulders. You want your knees directly under your hips. And we're going to start here. We're going to do what we call cat-cow. And this is one of my favorite poses to do. So you're going to take an inhale, raise your sitting bone up to the sky, and really open your chest here like a sway back cow. And as you exhale, you're going to push into the mat, rounding your back like a scared cat. You're gazing at your belly button here. Take an inhale, come back into cow, lifting the sitting bones up, really expanding the chest here, opening the heart, and exhale, press into the mat, pulling the belly in, gazing at the belly button, and inhale back into cow. So we're going to do this a few more times. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. We're really going to be pushing fluid through the spine here as we continue to do cat-cow. So I invite you to go at your own pace with the breath. So you're inhaling on cow and exhaling in the cat pose. Inhale and exhale. Good. Next, I invite you to go into child's pose. So bring your big toes together here and just sink your hips back. Bring the arms out in front of you. Fingertips are splayed out. Really stretch those fingers out. The fingers need to be stretched out too, not just your muscles in your back. So you can lay your head down here. And this is a nice pose to do if you're feeling winded. It actually is a very nice grounding pose if you feel that you need right now, especially for people who have anxiety. This is very nice for them to feel this comfort, this support from the earth, I call it. So breathing in, breathing out here. Really allowing this passive stretch to start to open the hips. The hips become tight. It tends to also hit your lower back. Good. So let's come back up into a neutral position here on your hands and knees. Again, wrists directly under shoulders, knees directly under hips, and we're going to do a few things to strengthen our core and our back, okay? So let's start here, and we're going to point our right arm in front of us, and then I'm going to go ahead and lift my left foot, toes pointed down, my leg is extended, and I'm just really reaching from my fingertip to the back of my foot here, my heel. So inhale here, exhale, let's bring it back down. And we're going to do the other side. So here we go. Let's bring the left hand out in front of us, fingertips pointed in front. Let's bring the right foot out, extending that right leg. Heel is pointed towards this wall behind me. So inhale here and exhale, release. You're really using the core here. We really want to use the core and really work it, because that is going to be very beneficial for us. It's going to strengthen. So here we go. Inhale again. Raise that right hand out, fingertips out in front. Left leg extended. Inhale here, exhale, come back down. Let's do the other side. Inhale, reaching, reaching, reaching. Fingertips out in front. My heel is flexed here, toes down towards the floor. Inhale and exhale, bring it down. Let's go back into child's pose. Bring the arms out in front of us. Breathing in, breathing out. And we're going to come back and we're going to go ahead and start to transition to a standing position. Good. So we kind of warmed up our backs a little bit in cat-cow, which I love to do before bed, and a lot of times when I wake up in the morning, because it really starts to get my spine nice and agile and flexible. Okay? So if you have a block, I invite you to take your block or your pillow or a book, whatever you have, because we're going to work again on strengthening, okay? So we'll start here in Tadasana. They call it mountain pose, actually. So mountain pose is what we're going to be in now with this block. What I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you take that block or that pillow, and I want you to put it between your thighs here and squeeze that between your thighs. So you're going to really activate your legs here. And really, when you're standing in line at the store, this is really what you should be feeling. You should be feeling your legs working, and not just, this is what I mean, I have the habit of doing it at the store where you're just standing there and you're like, you know, just kind of slouching, and you tend to use your back to compensate for not using the rest of your muscles. Today, we're going to train ourselves to use the rest of our muscles. So we're going to use this block, and I love using the block because it really does make me use my legs standing here. So the block between my legs, I'm squeezing that block. I'm going to roll my shoulders back. My chest is nice and opened. My spine is nice and long. Again, that balloon is floating my head up nicely so that I'm very nice and aligned. At the same time, I'm really using my legs to squeeze this block. And that is the motion that I'm going to cue you to do when we do some of these other poses. So just holding this pose, squeezing that block, bring your arms out here, rolling the shoulders back, and opening yourself up, and just breathe here and feel the strength in the legs. Inhale and exhale. Very good. Good. So another pose that we're going to be doing with the block between our legs is chair pose, and I'm going to demonstrate that for you. I'm going to go ahead and just sweep my arms up in front of me. I'm going to sit back. I'm holding that block. I'm squeezing it between my legs. Again, this is really going to strengthen and support me. So I'm inhaling and exhaling, and here's a nice way to strengthen the legs. So this is a very nice, subtle exercise. Inhale, come up. Good. Exhale, release. So I'm going to be doing some bends, but not a lot of them are going to be standing bends. And the reason is because people might have disc areas that are hurting, and bending down is probably not the best thing for that. So I'm going to be very conscious of that. So we're going to do another 2 more times our chair pose. Here we go. Take an inhale, squeezing that block, using that block. So I'm not sinking into my lower back. And up I go. Good. And again, inhale, come back. And I want you to squeeze the block. Exhale, inhale, just keep breathing. Never forgetting to breathe, using your breath as an anchor. And then coming up. Good. So some of you might be like, wow, that's really hard. It is. It really makes you use your legs. So that's a tip for you. If you really want to use your legs, use that block in some of these yoga poses, and we'll use it again. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to have us do a few standing poses. So one of the standing poses that we're going to be doing is a lunge. So I'm going to have us step our left foot back and come into a standing lunge. So really bring your arms up to the sky. Again, I want you to imagine your shoulder blades pulling down the lower back, just really pulling it down. So you're not standing here like this. You have your shoulder blades down. Good. So we're inhaling and exhaling here. Again, this is a nice pose. What I want you to do is imagine a big block between your knees now and squeezing that. Good. Inhale here, exhale, release, come back up to standing, and we're going to do the other side. Again, this is a nice way to strengthen the core and to strengthen our legs. You want to make sure that you're not compensating using your back for a lot of things. You have to make sure that these muscles are nice and strong. So inhale and exhale. Breathing in, breathing out. Pressing into the back ball of the foot, really feel that mat. Inhale here, exhale, come up to standing. The next thing that I'm going to teach you to do is warrior 2. So you're going to go ahead and plant your left foot here in front of the mat. I'm going to go into a wide stance, and I have my stance nice and wide here. The instep of this heel is basically, this heel is like matching the instep of my left foot here. So there should be a line here. I'm going to bring my arms out. This is warrior 2. Again, imagine that you have a big block between your thighs and you're squeezing that block. You're activating your legs right now. And what you want to do is try to make sure that your body is balanced, that you're not leaning one side or the other, but you are stable. So breathing in, breathing out, holding this pose. Again, what I'm trying to do right now is get us a little bit heated up before we do a lot more stretching. So we're going to take an inhale here, and I'm going to have you go into peaceful warrior. You're going to take that left arm and bring it up to the sky. So the arm where the knee is bent, and just give yourself a little bit of a stretch by bringing yourself back a little bit, really opening the side here and breathing into that. So let's take an inhale here. Exhale, we're back into warrior 2. And we're going to do it 2 more times. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, reach up and open the chest, and exhale. Good. So let's go ahead and move ourselves into the other side. So I'm just going to pivot. And there I am in my warrior two. Again, we're trying to just keep it very even. We're not moving one way or the other. Our body should be nice and aligned and stacked. So taking an inhale, we're going to raise our right arm up to the sky and open the chest here. Feel that stretch. Exhale. Inhale. Opening the chest here. Exhale. Again, we're stretching out our sides. Inhale. And exhale. Counter posing, sitting down all day long. Good. All right. So here we are. We're going to go ahead and just bring our legs a little bit closer together. I say by the legs length apart, actually. And I want the sides of my feet to actually be parallel with the mat. Okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and take my toes and point them to the corners of the mat. I'm going to have us go into goddess pose. And I know a lot of you ladies out there are goddesses, so this should be natural for you. So we're going to go ahead and bring our arms up like a cactus. You see what a cactus looks like. I'm going to inhale here and exhale. I'm going to just squat down a bit, and this is goddess pose. And again, I invite you to imagine a big block between the thighs and you're squeezing it. So again, we're really getting a nice strengthening exercise here for our glutes, our quadriceps, and the backs of our thighs. So let's come up. I'm going to bring my arms up into star. Inhale here. Exhale, bring it back into cactus arms and right back into goddess pose. And again, inhale and exhale, back into goddess pose. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, exhale. Good. And let's come back up to standing. Good. So we kind of heated ourselves up. I'm kind of getting us a little bit heated before we start to really stretch our bodies out. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into a lunge position, but this one's a deeper one. Okay? So I'm going to plant my left foot on the mat here. I'm going to bring back my right foot. And then I'm going to plant my hands onto the mat right next to my foot. Okay? I'm going to extend my back foot. You see how I'm extending it and bringing it even further back before I gently rest my knee on the mat. Now, if this bothers your knee, a great trick to do for you is to roll your yoga mat and plant your knee on that. So take your foot, the top of the foot should be on the mat. And so here you are, you're in what we call lizard pose. You want to have your hands next to your feet. So in this pose, we're really opening up our hip flexors that get very tight and don't get enough attention from us during the day. So we're just going to hold this pose, breathing in, breathing out again, just opening up. And again, if any of these poses hurt or feel uncomfortable, dial it back. Don't go too deep. I always invite people to explore their edges, but don't go over them. Inhale and exhale. Good. Take an inhale here and let's get out of this pose. So I'll come back up to standing, and then I'm going to do the other side. Bringing that leg back into that lunge position. I'll start with my hands at my heart. I'm going to go ahead and just keep pivoting that foot all the way back. I'm going to plant my hands down here next to my foot. And then I'm going to gently rest my knee and the top of my foot on the mat here. And if this is as far as I can go, wonderful. If you're a little bit more flexible, it is up to you. If it's in your practice to get onto your forearms, you can do that too. If you want to try it, you can as well. I'm just going to hang out over here because I still feel the stretch. Again, I'm not looking for what what it looks like. It has to look beautiful. It's all about how you feel. If you're feeling a stretch, then you're doing it absolutely right. So inhale and exhale here, and really feel that stretch here. Breathing in, breathing out. Good. Let's go ahead and get ourselves back into standing. And we're going to go ahead and start to graduate ourselves down onto the mat. So now I'm here on the mat. And we're going to do a few more things with the block. We're also going to start to work a little bit of our core as well. So let's start actually with the core, okay? We're going to add a few stretches in with the core. And like I said, your core is so essential to help with supporting your back. If you have that core strength will help you to, will help you compensate. You don't want your back taking the load of everything. All right, so I'm going to have you just start here. So there's different variations that you can do. You can start here, knees bent. As you can see, my body is nice and aligned and straight. I'm going to go ahead and place my hands behind my knees. Take an inhale here, and I'm going to just bring my feet up. So I can stay here. This is absolutely fine. So this is a perfectly good pose because I'm really engaging my stomach muscles, the lower stomach muscles. They're transverse abdominal muscles. So yogis have 8 packs, I always say. They don't have 6 packs. They have 8 packs because they have very strong inner, ab muscles. So you can stay here. You can let go and see if you can, do this without the support. There's nothing wrong with the support. And if you really want to challenge yourself, you can straighten your legs out and hold it. This is a nice pose not only to strengthen the ab muscles, but it also strengthens your quadriceps. So let's take an inhale here, and exhale, we're going to release. I'm going to bring it back down. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite you to go into bound angle, or what we know as butterfly pose. So placing the bottoms of your feet together, we're going to take an inhale here. And exhale, I'm going to just come forward here, bending forward a bit. And I'm using my elbows here, as you can see. My elbows are like pushing into my knees to open my hips. Tight hips, another reason for lower back pain. So we really want to open up those hips here. Very important. So we're going to take an inhale coming up. Exhale, release. And then I'm going to go ahead and just bring my knees together again. And I'm going to go into my boat pose again. So I'm just going to, again, I can start off here. Or if I want to go a little further, I can hold the pose here. Or if I want to straighten my legs out and try that, I can do that as well. What you don't want to do is really be hanging out here. You really want to make sure you're nice and straight. And if you can't pull your legs up and have your spine straight, then I recommend you stay here. Okay? So inhale, exhale, breathing in, breathing out, using those abs. Inhale and exhale, release. Bring the feet down, bottoms of the feet meet, opening up the knees here. I'm going to open my hips again. So take an inhale here. And exhale, come down. Very nice. I love this stretch. It's simple to do. You don't need props. So breathe in, breathe out. Inhale and exhale. Good. Let's take an inhale, coming back up. I'm going to bring my knees together. One last time, we're going to go ahead and do our bow pose. So here we go. So we really are working on strength here. I can let go, or if you want to straighten up, you can do that too. It's all about what is best for you. You listen to your body, you know your body. Right now is a great time for you to be in tune with it. That's what's great about yoga. I love it. Let's take an inhale and exhale, release. Whew. All right, let's go ahead and plant the feet on the mat. Bring the bottoms of the feet together again, inhaling here, and exhale. Coming forward, I'm using my elbows to open my hips. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale and exhale. Let's come on up with an inhale and release. Now another culprit of lower back pain is those hamstrings. Your hamstrings can get really tight, especially those that run a lot, really tight hamstrings. So I'm going to invite you to use your strap right now. We're going to, and see, this is not a standing forward bend, this is a seated forward bend, and gives you a little bit more control, okay? So I'm gonna grab my strap. I'm gonna go ahead and wind the strap around my feet here, and I really want to activate my feet. My instructor always tells me no lazy feet in yoga, and she's right. You're always going to be activating your feet. So that means pulling your toes up, okay? So I'm going to take an inhale here, and as I exhale, I'm just going to go ahead and pull on the strap and bring my body forward. Now, what I don't think is appropriate is this movement, okay? This is not good. We call it jumbo shrimp. We don't want jumbo shrimp, right? We want to look like we are nice and aligned, straight. Our spine is tall. Again, it's all about the spine. Take that inhale. And as I exhale, I'm leading with my chest. So I'm pulling on these straps to get me to lead with my chest. And I'm going to feel a nice stretch in the backs of my legs, in my hamstrings, okay? So if you are flexible enough, you can go down further if you want. But really, again, it's all about feeling and not what it looks like. And I want to feel a nice stretch from my ankle all the way back, all the way to my glutes. And this is a nice pose to do that in. So this will really stretch out your hamstrings, which really need your help, because when they're tight, they tend to pull on that lower back again. So let's breathe in, breathe out here. Let's take an inhale, coming up. Very nice. Good. So now we're going to go ahead and put the strap on the side. And again, if you have a pillow, a block, a book, we're going to go into our bridges, okay? So bridge poses are great. I love bridge pose. It strengthens the backs of the legs, and it also strengthens your hips. And again, your hips are important for your lower back. So let's come on back down. I'm going to take the block. I'm going to place it between my knees here. I'm going to try to get my heels as close as possible to the backs, to my bottom, basically. So I'm going to take an inhale here. I'm going to bring my arms up so that I can open my chest here. I'm going to inhale and push my hips up, squeezing that block. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, and then as I exhale, I'll bring my bottom down. Let's do that a few more times. Let's take an inhale and push and squeeze that block. Again, we're strengthening our legs to help support the back. And exhale, bring it down. And again, let's inhale and push and squeeze the block. And exhale, bring it down. Good. Now we're going to add another dimension to this. We're going to do it again. This time, we're going to open up our chest. So I'm going to clasp my hands behind me as I push my hips up to the sky. I'm going to try to reach and grab my hands. And as I do so, I'm going to try to roll my shoulders open a little bit more. So it's really allowing me to open my chest here to the ceiling. Inhale and exhale, squeezing and pushing up and bringing it down. Good. Let's do that a couple more times. Pushing up, squeezing, grabbing my hands and opening my chest, and bring it back down again. And again, let's squeeze the block and push our hips up. Let's clasp our hands. roll my shoulders under, and down I go. Good. So that is a nice pose. These are some nice poses to do to strengthen the hips, okay? So let's do one more strength exercise. We're gonna go onto our chest here on the mat, and a lot of you know these as Superman, or we call them locust pose so the bug, the locust in yoga. So you can do there's many variations. Now, if you have a lot of back pain or lower back issues, make sure your legs are nice and wide. If you ever go into a yoga class and the teacher demands and expects you to have your feet together, that's not good, because women have wider hips, and doing this can actually put some aggravation to your lower back. So if I was doing this pose like this, I can already feel it in my lower back. So I'm gonna widen my legs to add space here. So you have a choice of either raising your arms up, just the arms, or just the legs, and this will strengthen your back, or if you want, you can do both. And I want you to focus and concentrate on looking down, like you're flying above a bunch of people, like Superman. So we inhale and exhale here, and then let's release it. Let's go ahead and bring our left cheek onto our hands or on the mat and relax a little bit, okay? And let's do it again. So I'm gonna go ahead and just raise my legs first. Again, they're wide, and arms. And again, this is going to take pressure off the lower back when you do it with your legs wide. And I'm gonna release it. I'm gonna bring my right cheek now to the mat, giving myself a little bit of a rest. And we're gonna do it one more time. So bring the back of the legs up first, as you can see, and then my arms, if possible. If not, you can just work the legs, okay? Again, go at your own pace. Meet yourself where you're at. Inhale and exhale, and I'm gonna release that. And I'm gonna even add a little bit more space to my lower back here. I'm gonna go ahead and bend my knees, and I'm just gonna swish them from side to side to kind of loosen up that lower back. That's very nice, feels good. And that's what we're looking for, something that feels nice and good. Good. All right, excellent. So we're gonna go back onto the mat now, and we're gonna do a few more side stretches here. So I'm going to have you bring out your right leg, so it's nice and long here. And I'm gonna take my left heel and bring it to the inner thigh here of my right leg. So what I'd like to do is another side stretch here. So I'm gonna take an inhale, and the knee that is bent, the same knee, the same side, I'm gonna bring my arm up. Inhaling here, and as I exhale, I'm just gonna bring myself over my right leg here. And I really am not looking to grab my foot, okay? I'm really looking at expanding and stretching out my side. So I'm gonna reach past my foot. Reaching past the foot here activates those muscles here and really allows you to elongate the muscle. Breathing into the side ribs here. I want you to really focus on the breath. Inhale and exhale with feeling that nice stretch. You might even feel a stretch in the hip. And we're gonna come back to center and release. Now notice how one side feels compared to the other. I can tell you, I notice the difference. All right, let's do the other side. So I'm bringing out that left leg, and I've got my right foot, or my right heel, okay? Here in my inner thigh of my left leg, and that bent knee, I'm gonna bring the arm up. Breathe in, and as I exhale, I'm going to the other side, and again, I'm not reaching for my foot, I'm reaching past my foot. I want to feel this stretch here, and I even feel it in my hip. It's so nice. So I'm breathing in, breathing out. I'm trying to reverse all of the sitting I've done already this morning in front of the computer. Take an inhale and come up, and exhale, release that. Good. So you should feel a nice sense of freedom here. Okay. So what I would like to do for you today too is give you a little bit of a twist. Okay. So twists are very nice. Even for those who have lower back problems, it's going to kind of try to open up a little bit of the back. And also, it's very good for your digestive system. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and place one knee over so that I'm crossing my left knee over my right foot. That's nice and long here. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to take my left arm. I'm going to open myself up here. I want my chest to be nice and open. I'm going to take my right elbow and bring it around and twist here. I really don't want to twist my lower back. I'm really stabilizing my hips here. But it's really my upper back that I'm twisting because I really need to open that up. As I exhale, I'm going to pull my belly in. And that allows you to twist a little bit deeper if you want. And again, go wherever you can. Don't push yourself too much if you feel pain or anything. Let's take an inhale and release that, and let's do the other side. So I'm going to take that right arm, I'm opening myself up so my heart is nice and open, my chest is open. Taking that left elbow, I bring it around and twist here. Again, my lower back is not twisting, it's just the upper back here. My feet are still active. Breathing in, breathing out. Let's take an inhale, come back to center. Excellent. So I'm going to turn the volume up a little because, of course, as you know, we all are working from home right now. This is my home, and my neighbor is cutting the grass right now. So, all right. Okay, so let's go ahead and take our straps or our belts or whatever you have, and we're going to do some really nice stretches again for the hips and the body. Here I go. Laying down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take actually my strap, I'm going to put it around my right foot. I'm going to take an inhale, I'm going to bring that foot up, and I'm going to really pull on that strap so I can get a nice stretch in the back of the leg here. My goal is to pull this strap as far as I can go. Again, I'm exploring the edges. I'm feeling a nice stretch, and I always call these stretches that are they can be a little intense, like juicy. So these are like juicy stretching here. So inhale, breathing in, and exhale. Meanwhile, my other foot is active. Toes are up. Good. So breathe in, breathe out, and enjoy this lovely stretch. And it is such a nice treat to have this stretch right now. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to open up our hip a little bit. So I'm going to keep that foot and this leg that's on the ground while I bring my right leg over. And so I'm going to feel a stretch right here in the side hip. And man, that's nice. Again, this is counteracting my sitting that I've been doing all morning long. Inhale and exhale, breathing in, breathing out. Enjoy that stretch as well. Just noticing those tense areas and breathing into those areas. And let's take an inhale and bring it back to center. Now I'm going to pull my foot a little bit more to get a little bit deeper stretch in here. Then I'm going to inhale and bring the leg to the outside here. So I'm really opening up here, my hip and my inner thigh. This leg is still nice and active. Foot is active. Inhale, bring it to midline. And again, I'm going to go ahead and pull a little bit more. A nice stretch here. Inhale and exhale, release. Now, you're going to notice that this leg is longer than the other, so don't try to walk around like this. Let's do the other side. You'll be walking around like with a limp. All right, let's do this. Other leg. Again, what I want to do is make sure that both of my feet are activated. They're both active right now. Let's take an inhale and bring that left leg up and bringing the toes close to my nose. As close as I can get it. Again, explore your edges. Do not go over if it's painful. This should actually feel nice, okay? Inhale and exhale. And if you can only go this far, that is absolutely fine. Everybody's body is different. So let's breathe in and breathe out and really feel that lovely stretch in the backs of the legs here. Opening up the hamstrings and allowing a little space so that we can help the lower back not get so stretched and tugged by our muscles here. Let's take an inhale, and as we exhale, we're bringing that leg over. I've still got my other foot activated. I feel a nice stretch in the side hip. Oh, that stretch in the side hip is so good for you, opening up those areas. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale and exhale. Stretching is very good for you. In fact, stretching can even alleviate, inflammation in the body. So let's take an inhale, bring it up. And exhale, open that door. Open it up. And again, this hip is nice and stable. I'm really opening up the inner thigh and the inner hip here. Both my feet are activated. Let's bring it up to midline and pull a little bit more because we really want to get a nice stretch in this side as well. Inhale here, exhale, release, and I invite you to notice how that feels. I want to make sure that I give you enough time for a relaxation pose. So I'm going to have you go ahead and bend your knees, bring them up, and widen the hands like a T. Open your hands so that they're open to the sky. Take an inhale, bring your knees to the left side, head to the right, a nice little bit of a gentle twist. Inhale, come up to midline, and exhale to the other side. You're going to move your head opposite way that your knees are going. Inhale to the midline, and exhale to the other side again. Inhale up to the midline, and exhale to the other side. Let's take an inhale, and I'm going to go ahead and have us do one or two last poses before we go into Savasana, which is relaxation pose. So we're going to get in touch with our inner babies right now. We're going to do happy babies. So you're going to grab your feet and open your hips here and roll around. Just kind of being in tune with that happy baby. A nice, lovely stretch again. I like to do this before bed. It's very relaxing. Now I invite you to hug your knees to your chest. Give yourself a nice squeeze and a very nice hug here because you deserve it. And I'm inviting you to just lay down here and just allow your body to just get nice and comfortable on the mat here. I'm going to change the music up here. We're going to listen to a little bit of ocean music. I invite you to lay here and close your eyes just for a few minutes. Begin to notice your breath coming in through the balls of the feet, all the way to the crown of the head. I invite you to breathe in that oxygen and feel that energy. And as you exhale, noticing a release of any muscles that you might have that are tense. Inhaling and exhaling here, allow yourself to relax, to enjoy this moment in the middle of the day where you can be with yourself. It's just you and your mat. As you breathe, noticing how your body feels right now from all the work you've done. You've opened up muscles today. You've added space in areas that might have been very compressed or tight. You've strengthened areas in the body that can help to support your back and your neck. Just allowing all your muscles to collaborate with each other, working as a team to bring you nice, healthy habits. Breathing in, breathing out, just allowing yourself to sink even deeper into the mat, enjoying this moment. Breathing in, breathing out, allowing yourself the simple peacefulness of just being. Nothing to do, just lay here and receiving relaxation. Let's take an inhale here and start to wiggle the fingers and the toes just to get ourselves back. Bending the knees. Let's bring ourselves to the side of our mat, the right side. Just allowing yourself to lay here just a little bit more. With an inhale, I invite you to come up to a seated position, any seated position that you feel is comfortable for you. I really hope that you enjoyed this practice today. I know I did, and I needed it for myself as a virtual worker. I do wish you all love, light, and happiness. The light in me honors the light in you. With gratitude, I say to you, thank you so much for allowing me to guide you in your practice today. Namaste.